Hi guys, welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and we're talking about the crazy wild yay time of Mars lap swimming through Pisces from April the 14th until May the 25th or so. Those 6 weeks are extra special because Jupiter is there in his dignity and he's hanging out with Neptune. And that Jupiter-Neptune energy hasn't been there with Mars since 166 years ago or so. And roughly, the vibe here of Jupiter in Pisces is every 12 years and Mars is in Pisces every 2 years, but now we have the Neptune factor and it's extremely rare. And by the way, until about the 10th or 11th of May, Jupiter is in Pisces and Mars is coming into his kingdom. So I think it will bring peace in Ukraine and even more clarity that we are indeed at the end of a pandemic and it is mostly over, except for maybe zero tolerance China, who's having some kind of mass hissy fit about it. I think the rest of us are going to see a big change. Mars, the god of plagues, and more plagues, meeting with Jupiter in his own dignity. You know, when Jupiter was in Pisces in May, June, and July of 21, we saw the end of the pandemic where we thought we had masks were off, everything was happy dappy, everybody was feeling good. Then he started to retrograde on June 21st of 21 into July. And then we realized, we were premature. We still have a pandemic and et cetera, et cetera. Viruses escaping vaccines and we had Delta. This time, however, I don't think that's going to happen. Jupiter's already in this part of the sky since December. Covering the Omicron onset in December, which is excellent because Omicron brings endemicity. And now Mars, the god of plagues, is under the orders of Jupiter. So I think this could be the end of a lot of restrictions, whatever are left in terms of vaccine passports and mandates in different countries. For instance, in the United States, on April 21st, there is a potential end to the border crossing rule on the land crossings that somebody has to be vaccinated to cross into the United States from land crossings, which would be Mexico and Canada. So let's see if that holds, because as of my recording on April 14th, it's supposed to be turned off, that order, unless there's a new news coming in from the administration. All right, so let's get going and talk about all signs. This is going to be fast and pithy. Yes, Mars will meet Neptune in a few weeks in the sky from now, and we'll cover that when that happens, because that's a really cool energy. But for now, we're just talking about the theme of what does it mean when Mars is running his hot, he's not even hot, he's in water. He's doing his lap marathon swim. He's doing his super breaststroke or his butterfly through the watery sign of Pisces, where Jupiter is waiting to meet him, as well as Neptune over these next 6 weeks. So let's start off with the Aries people and really just hit the nail on the head with a quick soundbite for each of you. This is definitely a pithy short video. I will promise you that. It is just the overview. It's what it's like to have those energies going on for 6 weeks in your sky, with the specialness, of course, of Neptune, Jupiter having on April the 12th, kind of given it that rainbows and unicorns and fairy godmother vibe. All right, so Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign, especially rising. And before I go, onward, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check my description box below. Sign up for my Cosmic Moontime newsletter, and when you do, guess what you get? You get my free 2022 all signs videos, 60 minutes each times 12, and this particular sale or special ends on April 21st. All right, moving on to Aries. Well, you know, this is a very subtle place. It's your 12th house. So Mars coming through here can very much be about ending your addictions, self-defeating patterns and habits, time to cut away all that does not serve you. I know a lot of times when Mars has gone through my 12th house, I've picked up really good habits and I've banished the old. I've gotten more cautious about what I put in my mouth, more, well, that's for me, but, you know, more focused on ways that I could stop sabotaging myself. And Mars is very supportive when he's in your 12th house. Now, be aware that the 12th is the house of hidden enemies, and Mars can be men or masculine people. And therefore, you may have some to watch for people, especially males who do not have your back. But for the most part, with benefic Jupiter holding space in that 12th house until May the 25th, until May the 11th, especially between now and May the 11th, I feel really good about this for us Aries folk. I'm an Aries sun and moon. So this is just more boom for you, focus, decision-making, and actions around improving your life in terms of your sabotage, self-defeat, and or addictions. All right. Next is Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Now you earthy bulls are having this swimming Mars marathon breaststroke guy in your 11th house, all the way through to May 25th with Jupiter's support until May 10th. And this is very good for really decisive and fun adventures and action regarding your great gains from your career, some windfalls and pennies from heaven, and support from friends and allies. Now, Mars is a pruning god. He's got big shears and he cuts back the dead wood on the tree. He'll slice the gangrene off the limb. You know, he likes to get rid of things like that. Honestly, if Mars does do anything that you might consider harsh here, it will be that he'll prune the friendships tree. You'll lose some friends during this time. You may choose to lose these friends. You may decide you don't want them, or they may just fall away. And if any larger social circle friends or groups of belonging diminish, that's also okay. It's like you might be saying to yourself, I'm done with this group. I no longer feel like I belong. These are not my people. So there could be that paring away, but with Jupiter co-present, it's all benefic. It's all good. You know, the leaner and meaner those social groups are, the better off you're going to be. And lastly, you can consider that your hopes and wishes for your life are in this 11th house, and Mars is refining them and giving you the action steps you need to take direction in direction of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. So Taurus, this is a very positive energy for you. Gemini is sun, moon, and rising sign. You've got Mars lap swimming in your natal 10th house of your career and your success and your visible outpicturing of your career and purpose in the world. It's where people see what you're up to. And so your reputation is here as well. And Mars is really going to clear out anything, of course, with Jupiter's benefic help until the 11th of May, at least, when Jupiter's there. So Mars and Jupiter together can be like a commanding boss, right? A commander-in-chief vibe. And so it could be that you're getting some kind of positive support from somebody in power who's making executive decisions, Mars, or taking actions on your behalf to boost your profile in your career. So these can be allies in the workplace. This can also be you making changes in your career, but in really positive ways that bring more prosperity and joy and abundance to you. So taking actions to make significant career changes will be happening, okay? And I think you could consider it to be a time of very strange blessings, right? Mars and Jupiter in April in your house of career. Maybe unicorns and rainbows have happened up there already by the time you hear this, but not necessarily that Neptune Jupiter conjunction on April 12th will be playing up for the rest of April. And then Mars comes along and mops up somehow. You could take turning points for sure. You could like totally change your direction in some way in your career, but you'll be blessed by that radical, significantly powerful change of career direction. All right, so that's ongoing until May the 25th. And last but not least, oh no, my computer's freezing. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Gemini. Oh, I just did Gemini. Sorry. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Cancer, sun, moon, rising sign. What's happening in your sky? Well, you've got this swimming Mars doing his breaststroke marathon thing for 6 weeks in your 9th house. Now, if you are a Cancer rising who wants to travel to a foreign land, Mars is a god of adventures. So yes, this is an ideal window to book that trip or take that trip. So get your little air wings on because you could be flying away. If that's not what's happening, that you're going off on a big adventure to a foreign shore or land, you may actually really make decisive action steps and decisions regarding legal and court cases. If you need to win a court battle, Mars is your champion, hero, warrior here, and your legal affairs can go really well, especially if it involves courts and judges, because Jupiter, the Lord of Justice, is in the sky as well in your 9th house. So all golden things are ruled in your behalf, especially until May 11th, where you still have Jupiter's coverage. And lastly, if you're writing a book or doing anything to the book publishing industry, you got a lot of momentum, a lot of action, a lot of excitement here with Mars's added chutzpah until May 25th. Relationship with the father in Vedic astrology, it's a house of the father, can be amplified during this time. You may have some conflicts with a father or father figure, and that's okay. Because then if you do, Jupiter's trying to make it worth your while, that you're clearing the air to create something good from the distress. Okay. And anything else I'd say? Taking action in the steps of your faith and your beliefs And Mars can refine, cut away, pare away. Master, how do you carve the perfect elephant every time? I carve away all that is not elephant. In this case, all my beliefs and faith-based beliefs and religious beliefs that don't serve me, they can be snipped away, especially with Neptune up there. And especially given that Neptune and Mars will combine it later in May, that can be very zealot-like energy, or dispersion or end of an illusion around your faith. Okay. But for the most part, I'm liking the vibe here. Okay, and my mouse doesn't work either today. Okay, I've got tech issues again. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have the Mars doing his, let's say for you, he's doing the backstroke in your money house, and he's going to be there, as I said, from April 14th to May 25th, and especially until May 11th with Jupiter's support, bringing you good things around your money. Now, bounty in your money for sure with Jupiter there. And this is not just your paycheck or your possessions. This is the way you create money, because you are lucky enough to have other people's money to help you. So bank loans and mortgages, credit card debt, tax rebates, spousal money, inheritance money. To be honest, this is very inheritance-y for a lot of Leo risings, especially Jupiter traveling through your Piscean 8th house is a bequeathment transit. He will be back later in the year at the end of October through November into third week of December. Keep that in mind. But now you've got Mars slicing through here. Now, Mars does bring things that cause things to end or separate. And if somebody is ill or not well in your family system, this could be the onset of a bequeathment energy where you recognize the person's not going to make it or they pass away, but again, that's just part of life. Mars here also can help cut secrets out of the background and drop them on your lap. And they could be a little bit of some humdingers, oh my God, shocking reveals, things that you didn't know coming to light. Again, with Jupiter here, these are worth your while to know. These will be reveals that serve you in your financial endeavors and also in your deeper metaphysical and paranormal area of the sky. And anything else I'd say about the 8th house? Some of it could just be going on for your partner. If you have a spouse, for instance, and this could be about their money and what's going on in their story as well. So when I talked about bequeathments and decisions around money, that's also a Mars story. I mean, 8th house story. And, taking money off the table, buying and selling. If you were selling a stock, Mars might prompt you to take urgent stock selling action sometime in this window until at least May 11th. It would be quite benefic, right? Because Jupiter's still there to take money off a stock table, if that's something that you're up to, or a crypto table or whatever. Let's go ahead and talk about Aries, sun, moon, rising sign. I mean, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign people. You have the Mars doing his swimming in your 7th house of your marriage partners and business partners, and sometimes your clients and audience. But for the most part, it's often like your significant other sky. Now, Mars coming through here is normally challenging. You could always find yourself battling, or your spouse is aggressive, or your business partners being conflictual with you. The difference this time is we have Jupiter in this house kind of bonifying it. So in any conflicts that arise, Mars is taking orders from Jupiter. So you may have some feisty conversations with the one you're with, but I will tell you that they're worthwhile, because Jupiter's like, we're going to have this kind of really hard conversation, or this intense maybe moment of conflict, but at the end of the day, it brings greater expansion to the relationship. So any upsets you have until May 11th will be resolved beautifully, basically. Now, Jupiter is known as a blessed endings god as well, and Mars can bring endings. I'm not going to lie there. If your partner and you aren't suited for each other, it's also possible that this transit of Mars through your 7th house can bring an end to a relationship. But again, it's for the best. I know it sounds like a trite cliche, but you got Jupiter looking out for you. If that door closes, something better will come. For most of you, it won't be that. And the same themes apply to the idea of business partners. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. In your sky, you've got Mars going through the water of your 6th house of your work and health protocols. If you need to improve your health because you've been sluggishly languishing in your exercise or food routines or something like that, or you've been working way too hard, which is very possible, Mars is going to take action on your behalf, because Jupiter's here saying, I'm the boss. this woman, this man has been working way too hard. And even though Mars is at its joy here and will make you work hard normally, I think Jupiter is taking over more so and saying, let's find some way that this is a joyful, expansive, and abundant feeling in the workhouse. So work routines, like daily routines, the way you do the work you do, the grind of the work, the office space work, the job, and the place of employment, if you're employed, or the place of your own self-employment. This is your health stuff. So, Mars be like, you got to start moving. You got to find a way to move. It's watery and flowy Pisces, start taking water aerobics or Tai Chi or Qigong or some kind of flow movement of some kind. So Mars might activate a new exercise protocol for you. There's no doubt about it. He does that. It's the house of sickness, and his transit there in his joy can bring surgeries that you need effectively done with no real hard consequence. In other words, if you need a surgery, you're a Libra rising, this 6 weeks is not a bad time to do it, especially between April 14th and May the 11th, with Jupiter there, especially watching over that scalpel wielding Mars, that he doesn't actually overdo the surgery. Oh, we only meant to take out your appendix, but we took out your, 3 other organs or something. All right. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign. You guys are having Mars in the next 6 weeks swimming through your 5th house of romantic love. And a single Scorpio, good luck staying single, because Mars is passion and lover energy entering your 5th house of romance. Jupiter is like bounty, expansion, and growth. Jupiter is, luscious energy. And then when you combine that in the romance house, so some of you guys are going to really have some hot romance maybe percolating. And we've had Venus there for a while as well, so before Mars jumped in. So you could really find that Venus and Mars are together for a while. So you could really find that this energy really opens up some sort of profound, sexy, hot love story. Now, if you're not single, it'll heat it back up. The old relationship fires up, the passion reignites, excitement comes back, and you could get pregnant. So be careful as well because of all that passion here, or your partner could get pregnant during this transit. Jupiter will be out of there on May 11th, and that's less dicey because basically Jupiter is your fertility god, and he'll be back in October 28th to December 20th in your fertility house. So you or your partner have to be very careful. It's a classic get pregnant kind of transit. If you're a creative artist, a writer, a songwriter, a paintist, an artist, anything like that, this is the Muse house, and you're going to be fired up because Mars will get you ambitiously driven to take action and execute your creative projects. So those of you who are Scorpionic artists, get ready, get set. This is going to be a 6 weeks window of incredible momentum in your passionate creativity. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, guess what? Mars is doing a swim in your real estate house, your home, where you live, your private life, your domestic life. This is a place where he often builds things. When he goes into someone's 4th house every 2 years, suddenly they're like cobbling together, things in the house, adding an addition, constructing a gazebo or something. Here he's got Jupiter overlording. So whatever happens is going big, go big or go home renovation, but everything kind of works out. There's luscious opportunity. There's good expansion. There's protection from Jupiter. If you're looking for a new home, this is a moving energy. And so some of you Sagittarius will find a new home. You might lease a new home or buy a new home or sell a home and move. There's energy for that. If you want to do anything like that, this is a very positive time, more so for the moving than the actual selling, but both things can happen here. You could have a little bit of conflict in the home, like with people you live with, because Mars can do that when he's in the 4th house. Domestic displeasure, arguments about silly things. I think Jupiter will patch it up as long as the arguments are before the middle of May, May 11th. Jupiter will help you see that every gritty argument has a silver lining, and that airing out the conflicts with the roommates or the spouse or whoever lives with you or your children can be a very positive thing. All right. So keep that in mind. I don't think anything too bad can happen with Jupiter's support. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, you Capricorns are experiencing a Mars transit in the watery Pisces zone of your natal 3rd house. This is your siblings, your aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, but mostly siblings. And it's also the place of short trips and travel. I'll tell you what, Mars loves that place. He's like Mr. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Get him in the 3rd house. He's like, what are we going to jump on? Is it a motorcycle? So there's definitely travel in the air for Capricorns. And so I would say that between April the 14th and May 25th, travel travel ahoy, but best before May 11th when you got Jupiter supervision. So nothing goes wrong and everything goes great. Okay, so yay you. And if you want to learn something, Jupiter's here and Mars says, I'm going to take action. I'm going to sign up for that course. I'm going to get that thing. I'm going to study it. You know, I'm going to do it. So there you go. Anything bad about it? Well, siblings and uncles and aunts fighting with you about something, but with Jupiter there, you'll smooth it out and figure out why it happened and bring blessings from any conflict with those people in your life, at least if those conflicts occur before May 11th. So Capricorn, you can actually mitigate sibling stress because Mars will give you the ambitious drive to take action or get things done you need to do with regards to siblings. And Jupiter will hold the space for a positive outcome. All right. Here I am, Aquarius rising, sun and moon. We have a swimming Mars in Pisces in our money house, our second house of earnings and possessions. Now, I find that this is often the house where we actually like literally make money and it comes to us, you know, we're like doing our thing, our wage earning or our professional thing. And that makes sense, of course, because it trines the 10th house of career. And sometimes it's things we own that we can sell as well, like a house or diamond ring or something. So Mars is going to eliminate something here. It's also what we put in our mouth. And technically, when Mars goes through the second house every 2 years, we tend to eliminate things from our diet. And we quit cigarettes, we quit weed, or we quit wine, or we quit foods we shouldn't eat. So Mars is helping with that process of refining your food style and what you eat and what you put in your mouth. You may be more vocal and fiery, but it's watery fire. You may be more forceful vocally. It's a house of speech, and Mars is giving you more vocal force in this 6 weeks that follow, you know, April 14th to May 25th. So you're vocal, you're strong, you're speaking out loud, that kind of thing. With Jupiter, you're speaking out loud in a Jupiterian way. You're coming from truth, from wisdom, from bounty, from goodness. And so your speech is well directed. And Jupiter in your second house can bring you money bonuses. And he's been here and with Venus for quite a bit of time. So you're going to expand your prosperity, and Mars will give you the action steps you need to take to do this thing called bountiful expansion of your finances. Like today, it just started, like Mars's ingress today. I'm recording on the 14th, but it goes to my Patreon community first. So you'll see it a little later. And I'm a little behind. And I just finally finished editing a website that I need to launch. And I got my drive to actually go ahead and do the edits today after letting it sit for 2 months. So there you go. Mars is moving forward in my house of earnings and connected to Jupiter, the teacher. It's a teaching website. So there you go. So look to your second house for some yay action steps and decisions that are going to be highly prosperous for you. And Mars could cut away a possession. Like say you don't really need 2 cars. You don't really need 6 diamond rings or 1,000 shoes. Some of you Aquarians will dispense of those things by selling them. Mars tends to spend a lot of money in the second house, but for needed things when Jupiter's there. So don't double think you're spending. If you need to buy something and you really know you need it and it's going to be good for your prosperity, then it's okay, at least until May 11th when Jupiter is helping Mars make good spending decisions. Last but never least, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. Guess what? He's swimming, good old Mars, in the sign of you. You are being Martianized. I love it. And if you want to really enjoy this energy, then I suggest that you make a little altar to Mars or something, because Mars is like, every 2 years he goes into your sign, but not when Jupiter and Neptune are there. It's like 160 something odd years rare. So Mars wants to take action on your behalf to support your health, to support your physical well-being, to support your attitudes around yourself. You know, it's like everything's getting bountiful right here. And you are feeling largesse, good. And Jupiter has been here since December 29th, but a lot of that time he was invisible, at least for a good 5-6 weeks. He was under the beams of the sun coming out the other side. So you didn't get the full Monty. And now in sidereal astrology, Jupiter has actually entered into Pisces today on the 14th or so, or the 12th. So I really want you to know that you have a huge amount of support to get vitalized, healthy, robustly physically active in a way that supports your body. Of course, you're Pisces. You know, I don't know many Pisces who are like, yeah, let me do the shot put or something. You're more wanting to flow with your body movement, like yoga, yin yoga, vinyasa yoga, you know, Tai Chi and things like that. Now that's a generalization, but I've seen more often than not, that's true. You know, rowing, getting in on the water, swimming and stuff. So get your body healthy, The sky's getting your body healthy. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain from this amazing time. And what else can I tell you? Mars coming through your first house and Jupiter there. You're making decisions and you're feeling good about them. You're taking action and you know your decisions are right and your actions are correct. It's you're more emboldened around decision making. And that's really important because as a Pisces mutable sign, you guys are fickle and you're never sure and you're procrastinating on decisions and you change your mind. But all of a sudden, for the next 6 weeks, you're like, like a captain of your decision-making power, and you don't doubt it and you just go ahead and do it. And all decisions you make and actions you take based on those decisions between April the 14th and May the 11th have Jupiter's blessing. So go for it. Thanks guys for listening to this super fast half-hour quickie on all of signs, all the signs you needed to know, all the places you need to know where Mars is going to go. All right. Ciao, ciao.